to me, and I will do my best to make those requests come true. I'm not kidding, actually. Please do that.
All right, so I think we can go ahead and get started. The list that I have right now has Angel as our opener. So Angel, whenever you are ready, kick us off.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, pleasure to be here. So I have one piece I'll share today, and it actually is the piece that was in the most recent Writers' Room anthology. So I'm going to share that. It's called 740 Mark. This opens with a piece from the Herald Sun, March 21st, 2018. Watch Sacramento police officers shoot Stephon Clark dead. Warning, graphic content. The Sacramento Police Department has released body cam footage of the shooting of Stephon Clark, an unarmed Black man in his grandparents' backyard. This footage is from camera 1. The shooting occurs near the 740 mark. 740 mark. After the long wet winter, all that time didn't find me an ending. Do you remember? I was forever that dark reel stalled in space, still alive at the 620 mark. I can't tell you what. And then something is spilling, urgent, my eyes. Let me be brave. From far away, running, my mom's backyard, the grass I laid giddy as a boy, some summers, some fall. Tapping on the window like, remember we found that kitten? Sliding to the ground like how we play, waiting to wake, already here. Alive at the 712. 28 seconds left. Unexpected, terrible, ordinary day. Tiny eternity resting in my childhood as if there was a shelter. 8 seconds. Shiny, screaming hole, red-faced, tears, no sound. That quiet kid, splitting, insistent, I am. Thank you.
Thank you, Angel. Brianna, whenever you're ready.
I suppose, but like, okay, I have 3 things that I could read, so maybe you guys can help me pick one.
Read them all.
I'm not reading them all. So the first one is called Dead to Me. The second one is called Ball of String. And the third one is called 99-Cent Dream. So whatever. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know.
Start with something. Never mind. Do the second one.
The second one? Okay. So this one is called Ball of String. I don't really have a reason for trying to untangle this 5-year-old ball of string, but it's monotonous in a way that it keeps my fingers busier than my mind. But I find that I cannot control the flow of my thoughts as they stream into metaphors. It's a ball of string strung through with glass beads, all gnarled and knotted with all intentions to abandon. And so far in between the motions, a few things have shown to be surprising. One being the shorter pieces I pulled out of the main entanglement, A few glass beads slip off and spill onto the desk beneath them. And some strings have no beads at all. Some are short and others double knotted. Some are kinky and some are smooth. Parts of a larger whole require more time than others. And while I try to separate it, some are so knotted that I want to cut the string in places to get the bead. 2 being how long the process has taken and how patient I need to be in order to prove to myself that it can be done. Life is a collective knot, and living is the unraveling of the strings. Life is the string. Life is each bead that could slip by. Life is the length of all the strings combined. Life is partitioned into pieces I pull apart. Life is using the tools at my disposal to try and make sense of where one part ends and the other begins. Life is when the knots become too tight and I have to choose when to break them. And there were many knots I couldn't undo with my hands or my tools. Life is messy. And that's it.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Bree. Are you sure you don't want to give us one more?
Maybe I could give you one more. Maybe. Do we have time?
Yes, please.
Okay. I don't know which one to read. I like Dead to Me. Okay. So, Dead to Me. I hope you erased me as fervently as I've tried to scrub you out from under my broken fingernails. If I live as a ghost in the closet of your mind, it's time you bring me out into the sun and let me disappear. I don't want anything to do with you, and you should want me less. You owe me nothing. Well, I owe you nothing, and you owe me less. I broke your neck in 3 different places and dragged your body into the woods where I dug a hole deep enough for 2, 1 extra foot for the part of me that died with you. I covered you with dirt, my hands covered in blood. I was going to leave you with the worms and let your memory rot. But you clawed your way back into the land of the living and made yourself a life half lived with all your vices. I may have murdered your body, but don't pretend you had a soul. Maybe you forgot what you did to me, exorcised it from your mind as if you've never felt the weight of your betrayal. My trust for you died the day you asked me who told you, or who told me, instead of apologizing. My words forgave you, but my body never did, and everything you'd done after felt empty. But what did I expect from a grave, vacant save for a decaying skeleton, with a lonely ghost holding vigil over the plot, waiting for someone to save it, but no one ever will. Everyone will forget about you, and I know better than to try. I was angry. Sorry.
I could tell.
Never apologize. Thank you, Bree. Up next, we have Norman Kane. Norman, whenever you are ready.
Gonna give him a quick call. He's gonna do it through here. Yeah. Yeah, you good to go?
Okay. So we'll see if we can.
Oh wait, it's echo. Can everyone?
Okay, you can still hear me, right?
It's echoing a little. I don't really know why. Let me. Do you wanna
So I'll take this quick moment before moving on to our next person. We'll circle back to Norman, but I also just wanted to shout out Liddy Q again. Liddy Q was started by my dear friend Janae and a group of other friends of ours. Myself, I would say, to borrow their phrasing, I'm a passive member of Liddy Q, but I'm hoping that my schedule will bring me back into the fold. And Brianna as well is a more active member. And like Janae said, open to all. Yeah.
Is there an online link or what? for more
Janae,
info?
you want to speak to that, please?
Got it.
Oh, I see.
Stuff. So our email is liddyqmag@gmail.com and our site is liddyq.org. You can see our stuff there. We have a lot of publications in the works right now. We're currently working through issue 3, which will be published in mid-September, and we're also pulling together an anti-racist project on race and voting in politics, and the intersections of systemic racism in our systems of voting, focusing on things like voter suppression, redlining, gerrymandering, in the works. That will come out sometime in mid to late October. So yeah, that's us. That's Liddy Q. We do lots of human-centered things. We approach our process from a human-centered perspective. We're humanists, we're collectivist. All voices are valid. And yeah, we work to support each other, lift each other up, and help each other grow. That's what we're about.
Janae, did you mention the fact that you publish more than just writing? It's also visual artwork as well. And the design team is really excellent at bringing those together. So be on the lookout for issue 3.
Yeah, we publish both writing and art, and we also aim to intersect the two.
All right, well, I will give Dominique and Norman just a little bit more time. And in the meantime, we will have Alicia, if you're ready.
All right. So I have 2 short pieces to read. And I'll start with this one. It's called A Pen and a Pandemic. My temporary agoraphobia yanks me into quiet submission. Windows open wide, same heat. Sweat stings as cramps curl up in my fingers. Assume the position. What would Dickinson do? All right. And the other one here, I don't have a name for it, but I'll get going a little more on theme for today. I've forgotten about the sky. Its malice, its apologies, its storytelling. The sky speaks before I can. It warns me, rewards me, bathes me, and dries me, keeps me on my toes. I feel grateful for my memory, grateful that I can remember my favorite skies, wild sunsets, or silent sunrises, or the loudest of storms. Yet I feel grateful for my ability to forget. Grateful that my shelter is sufficient enough to have and to hold me when I need it most. Grateful that sometimes I do forget the sky. And I feel grateful for my body. I can crane my neck to stare up at the everything that lies above me, to take it in and to be taken in by it. A sliver of copper-colored moon punctures the navy sky as I drive home. It reminds me of the indent of my fingernail. I press my nail into the steering wheel and stare at the crescent. I want to feel like the moon. Oh, to wax and to wane.
Thank you, Alicia. Dominique, Norman, how are we on audio?
He is going to try to call in.
Okay.
Yes. To the information.
All right. So next up, we have the Axiom herself. Whenever you are ready, Miss Victoria. Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
It's okay. This poem is called Grandmom's Hands, and I dedicated it to Devin because I know how much he loved his grandma. But I'll just share it. Grandmom's hands clapped in church on Sunday morning. Grandmom's hands played the tambourine so well. Oh, Grandmom's hands used to issue out a warning. She said, Vicky, don't you run so fast. You might fall on a piece of glass. There might be snakes there in that grass. Grandmom's hands. Luella had grandmom's hands. Hey, grandmom, I didn't do it. Why are you going to get me? I just wanted to see where babies come from. It's on channel 12. That's the education channel, right? Well, gosh, well, why you gotta turn it off? Grandmom, did you hear me singing? You really heard me. Who's God, grandmom? Can he do all those things that the pastor said? He did it for you? Well, will you show me how to pray? Grandma, how you be making that cornbread in that big old black skillet? Can you butter me a piece, please? You have the softest hands in the world, too soft to even feel real. Can you put some of that cocoa butter stuff on me? Where did you learn how to crochet? Can you teach me? Grandma, how you be caring for all those folks all over the country? Oh, you wanted to be a nurse when you grew up, right? Grandma, they took my baby. Did you did mommy tell you they took my baby? Wait a minute. Did you say what I thought you said? Oh, sorry to hear that, child, but you know you ain't had no business effing around no way. You'll be all right. Grandmom's hands pulled no punches, traveled where she wanted to go, gave to the needy and loved the poor. She would root you up to get you well, celebrated with all the nieces and nephews, didn't learn how to drive till she was in her 50s, had the tallest sunflowers that ever bordered a property. She made that good old canned fruit and peach cobbler like no other, and she could beat you down and then love you up. Grandmom's hands could cook up a storm. She spoiled every baby, loved her children even in their confusion, wrote a letter to President Roosevelt about a military father who was not paying his child support, and she received a letter from the president and got a check too. Advocated healthy eating, leave them doggone Twinkies alone, gal, she'd say. Only drove red cars, stood tall until she was 88. Don't want to be around no old folks because young folks got conversation that don't have nothing to do with aches and pains. Grandmom's hand would sing loud and proud on the Sunday morning choir, and she'd say, love the Lord, child, with all your heart and all your soul. Now, these are Grandmom's hands, soothe the local unwed mother. Grandmom's hands used to ache sometimes and swell. Oh, Grandmom's hands used to lift her face and tell her she say, baby, grandmom understands that you really love that man. Put your faith in Jesus' hands, grandmom's hand. Thanks, guys.
Come on now.
Woo! It was so amazing.
Huh?
That was amazing.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So Norm should be good to go now.
All right. Norman, whenever you are ready.
Am I on now?
I can hear you, but there is an echo.
Maybe maybe mute your laptop if that.
Can you mute Norman? And we should all be muted, and that should help.
Hello, can you hear me?
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
You can hear
You
Go
are
ahead,
very
Norman. We can hear you.
So you can hear me.
Perfect.
Okay. This poem is entitled "The Last Night on Campus," and it's a memory poem from 56 years ago. It's entitled "The Last Night on Campus." On a mild early August night in 1964, the few remaining end of the summer students on the miniature Bluefield State College, nestled within the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, were summoned by the supreme deity of their beloved institution to convene in front of the girls' dormitory, which had metaphorically been transformed into a mystical shrine where they would engage in an extemporaneous ritual to render homage to alma mater's legacy, memorializing all those that had graced its hallowed grounds since its 1895 inception. This was a time when I had completed my course requirements for a BS degree, a time when I envisioned the traditional cap and gown college graduation the following spring, a time when I realized that this ritual was my rite of passage, the crossing over into the real world. And at Gormley graduation ceremony monitored by peers, we conjured predecessors and returning students by reminiscing and singing the songs habitually sung on campus, the fight songs and chants that energize our athletic teams, the ballads of the fraternal organization, the rhythm and blues tunes that filled the gym on weekend night dances, the powerful freedom songs we sincerely rendered during civil rights demonstrations, and lastly, encircled arm over arm and rhythmically swaying counterclockwise, we sang our sacred school hymn. The harmony of our voices coincided with our harmonious brotherly sisterly relationships. Our singing was nostalgic, the exalting of a whirlwind twinkle dancing to the night skies, archaic rhythms. Our voices transcends the campus and ascended upwards above the silhouetted, majestic mountains that encircled it and onward to the stars. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Norman. Next up is Janae. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. So, I'm trying to remember if I've read this here before. It's a poem about the resilience of queer people of color, but in a poetic way. Also like generational trauma a bit. It's called The Endurant. I'll just read it. And y'all can stop me if we've heard it before and I can read something else. Plan? Cool. Okay. I'm also like weirdly nervous today. It's a little bit of an anxious day, so if my voice shakes, that's why. But we're gonna do this. It's called Endurant. Remember the shards of glass before wrists slit by fate. We've been of a predeterminedness, roads they've set and prescribed, which we've walked, no, waited as floods overtook we, a people, bounded to their roads with not so much as a glimpse. Is that where we go from here? Is it fear beheld, self-loathing, burning more than resentment, living in a house of demons? I am broken like the glass crying out to me, cutting me, bleeding me to death, and it's my fault? No. There may be no love, there may be no hurt. There may be no anything but to fly, to take flight effervescent and pop, returned to the air. There is neither true kind nor fault in broken glass. There's truth lying elsewhere in something once whole, perhaps born of the broken, who yielded love before brokenness. I've a kind. We know better than good, bad binarism. We know better than good, bad binarism, unforgiven wrongdoings, rebuked shortcomings. We are you, for we too forget sometimes. We too are primal and human. We are truth. I am of the broken I am, and I'll not be swept up. I'll not be blown away. I'll be them. With them, we'll be here, and you can find us in melody, enduring, believing, and breathing, for yes, we are the inhalation of this world and exhale, an honesty, the comings and goings of times, a constancy. That's it.
Thank you.
Sorry
Thank
about my
you,
little
thank you.
voice shakes.
Imperceptible. Didn't hear him. All right. Let me see here. Next up, we've got Dominique reading for Mela. And Dominique, please give us that plug you were talking about earlier.
I'm actually gonna read theirs after because I don't want to follow it. But yeah, first of all, just wanted to say thank you to everyone for coming. I know it's a very chaotic week. A lot of members either have finals or just have personal things going on, so it means a lot. I always love listening to everyone's writing. Also just want to apologize in advance. This is kind of a depressing little piece of work. And Rachel, if your kids can hear me, maybe mute me because I say swear words. So I don't want to. Okay. All right, I just have to find it really quick. Okay. Okay. Sit down, pour yourself a glass of red wine to get the emotions flowing. Writer's block is real, but you're the one who came up with the prompt. Mela asked what visions mean to you. You couldn't answer. It just sounded good, something that people could sink their teeth into. You expect these things to come so easy to people, don't you? You fucking hypocrite. You can't even get out of bed without Prozac and Adderall in your system. Think, think, think. Start with visions from today. Memories count, right? Moments memorialized in time through all the senses. You fell back asleep at 1 p.m., woke up to Jess calling at 4:30. She asked how you are. You said you can't feel anything. You're exhausted. You told her about the panic attack you had last night. She asked you to recall what was going through your head at the time. You don't remember. Use your last brain cells, Dominique. Think. There are bugs everywhere, hundreds of them. Where the fuck did they come from? You want them gone, but you have to turn around as your mom starts swatting them. Stop caring so much. You need to get rid of them. Do they even have a conscience? Do they see visions? Mom leaves, pick up the vacuum. Vacuum dies, the bugs are still alive. You are somewhere in between. You can't breathe. Your eyes start shaking. Your body is trying to kill itself. Undress, sit on the floor naked, smoke a cigarette, breathe. There you go. Grab your favorite purple sweatpants and the baggy t-shirt with Hard Rock Amsterdam on it. Where's the shirt? No, seriously, where the fuck is it? It always sits in the same spot, unwashed for weeks, reeking of BO. Rip apart every inch of your room, of every room in the house. Mom tells you to stop going through the kitchen cabinet, it wouldn't be there. It's gone, you lost it, the same way you lost him. Remember when he called you and said, tell me how stupid I am, when he lost the keychain you gave him? Well, now it's your turn. Tell him you lost the shirt he gave you. What does this mean? He lost the keychain and I lost the shirt. What does it mean? Get a hold of yourself, you're spiraling, it's a shirt. Stop applying meaning to objects that are too light to carry so much weight. Stop lying to yourself. You haven't worn it every day for the last year and a half because it's comfortable. You wear it because it's all you have left of him and you're desperate enough to cling to something that has touched his skin. He touched you, but that was a while ago and skin sheds. The shirt is gone, he is gone, there are bugs everywhere. Jess always reminds you that you're constantly cleaning your room because it gives you a sense of control over your personal environment, your self-proclaimed sanctuary, the only place that felt safe. You try to tidy up around the seemingly endless sea of black specks, but face it, you are not in control. This is not in your hands, nothing is. Slap your skin thinking you feel them crawling all over you. Caress your stinging flesh to pretend that you are capable of loving yourself the way he once did. This body does not feel safe. You don't want to be here. You don't want to remember how this feels. Suppress, suppress, suppress. Do what you do best. You tell her that you think you blacked out from the stress. Maybe you should end the session for today. Talk to you Friday, Jess. Yeah, that was it. And then Mela couldn't make it today. She's actually at a protest, doing real work. But like I needed her to share because they just came out with 4th volume of Mr. Baby, their zine. Super talented. So they sent me their favorite out of it. Okay. I think about the rats. The virus projected them to be cannibals. I came home fearing the vermin. I came back to rats gnawing at the stomach of a hungry man as if fire were at their backs. I think about the rats because I no longer see them crawling beneath the ground. They no longer run past my feet as I sit in solitary. Instead, they gnaw at my stomach, though I am not hungry nor a man. There is fire at their backs and blood on my hands. I'll clean their mess with salt water, and my blood will follow herself home into the shark's mouth. And once my insides are emptied from their vessel and learn to swim to that ambiguous void where unwanted blood goes to scream, the rats will find they cannot swim, that the fire on their backs will not protect them from the nothingness which resides in the dark abyss, from the great black shark my tongue has become. The rats will learn that there is no light where we are going, only undiscovered waters and children who do not grow up, their teeth sharpened and ready for war, ready to put the fire out. They're pretty talented. So I'm gonna drop the Instagram handle and the link to this edition. So, yeah.
Thank you, Dominique, and thank you for sharing that from Mela. Up next is Keish, but before Keish reads, I will open it up to anybody else who has already read. And yep, Cosmo, I see you. So you will be after Keish. Anybody else, if you want to read again, please feel free. But Keish, whenever you're ready. PHP, is that a hand? Okay, I got you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because like it's some motorcycles and like this is okay. I hope it's like covering silencing out the white noise. All right. This is a poem I wrote. No, whatever. It's called Paint Me. Paint me like I am. Paint me with my demons. I feel isolated. Wait, can y'all hear me? Okay. Sorry. Paint me. Paint me like I am. Paint me with my demons. I feel isolated, numb, and stuck, and I honestly feel like if I came out, my demons would go away, but at times I still pray. Not to your God, but to myself. Paint me. Paint me when I went up to Papa's casket, laughing. The same freedom I felt was the same weights I felt bad for, because I always, but never admired your presence. I let you paint me. I let you create this illusion. I'm not confused, I'm numb. Hoping I can control my screams of daydreams you seem is unseen, but you seem to believe my light is what drew my nightmares, and I'm scared. I'm scared because I lack patience with myself when I'm in solitaire, because I'm breathing in polluted air. No more, I won't let you paint me. That's it. Dang. I hope y'all could hear that.
Every word. Thank you, Keish.
All right.
All right. Up next is Cosmo.
Okay. Let me see here. I have two. One's like pretty short. This one was one I wrote when I was kind of like, I don't know, sometimes mental illness kind of gives you weird expectations for people that you don't even tell them, and then it gets frustrating for you. So I wrote a poem in that kind of the heat of that emotion to kind of get it out, even though this is not how I feel like outside of that moment. It's called Bare Minimum. Is there even an allegory for this shit? Does Earth even offer such a bare minimum? Should this poem be 4 lines in a period? Maybe. No part of nature is so aware of what it doesn't know, like you are. And yet, if it were, it might be more animated about the incoming pyroclastic plumes of existential dread. This is entirely too much. You know nothing when you see it. You know darkness and you adjust. You know the tautness of a wire between deep sleep and sudden awake, and yet this haircut surpasses your senses. I would rather. So complicated in theory, I would rather, and so simple in practice you are sometimes, I would rather fuck a spork. It would never ask me what swim trunks I prefer. Should this poem be 13 lines in a period? I'm considering. Thank you, that was one. And then this one's called Rotary Fingers. It was a little bit of like an abstract sort of journal, like a mystical nonfiction kind of, I don't know. For 6 years, the phone left an imprint on my palm, and my fingers were stuck in the gaps on the rotary wheel. The serendipitous agony of a late phone call. 6 years. when they leisurely tugged at my bootstraps like a small child who yearns for something temporarily satisfying. I made sure to pull myself up, gradually and fully, by my jugular and surrounding tendons. Don't wait around, I coughed. They shrieked and waddled away with haste, without a developed sense of balance. All they knew was to be away, not graceful, efficient, or how far. Just away, just unlike, not there, having something in between. And it rang, and I folded my head down to the speaker, ear on the plastic, finger in the other ear, plugged and in pain, very entitled to my numb feet. I listened. You did it, you passed, you're in. Congratulations, speak now and don't think about death. But I'm still here. Yeah, but there's always sex or certificates for having finished courses despite thinking about sex during exams of which your parents will be naively proud. Okay, my mom just texted me. I'll let her know. Not what you just said, but the news. It sounds good, take your time. I don't have any. The line clicked and I heard those kids crying somewhere. Unlike, not there. Without warning, all the etching I did on my wrist seemed emotionally forged and incredibly pointless. Under which desk was I supposed to hide my forearm, and for which test was I attempting to cheat? In time, I figured the ostensible tardiness of the opportunity to attend college would residualize into some attestment of fate, or karma, or something, and contingencies that followed could be milked into that vessel easily, right? Kind of like a virtual peak, well enough. Undoubtedly, some character traits couldn't be summed up by swelling pockets of skin, or brief romances with alcohol in my teenage years, or recurring away night terrors. Away. I had to lift my feet, relieve them of pins and needles and socks, arrive at a local convenience store with a full stomach the day before something important that's neither here nor there, and purchase a bag of sour gummy worms. Coming to terms with adulthood that brings about puckering, or numbness, or just an ache in your abdomen, comes because hunger isn't an alarm anymore. I don't process things that easily. Whatever pedestrian sobbing I do sort of sticks with me until I fall asleep. Roundabout, damp, although I don't feel pitied by my own brain anymore, just informed or understood. All the serotonin, oxytocin, adrenaline, endorphins, estrogen, and norepinephrine take a quaint, sort of prosaic smoke break and invite me just by waving their palms in the general direction thereof. I just wave my palm away from my eyes, from all my senses. I cough. I'll feel like it soon, and stay on the couch, howling and pulsing mutedly into gray sheets and pillowcases, praying to tomorrow, withdrawing from the vessel of fortune and happenstance, and boiling the experience down to cyclic grief and happiness, cyclic grief and happiness, grief and happiness. Feel like what? Have something not in between. Okay, they puff. I shrink, growing, and nobody calls me again for 8 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely incredible. Up next, we have Victoria.
Oh no, I can't say another word until I say this to Cosmos. People think about sex during finals.
Yes, it helps us get through.
Love it.
We're only human. We've been there. Everyone's been there. It's fine.
I get it. And I like that line, happiness feels. I like a lot of the lines, but I like that line, happiness. What? So, thank you. That was very cool.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to take you guys on a ride. So, go down to the Amtrak, get on the Amtrak train. We're going down to Virginia somewhere. This is called More Water. I hope I can read this because the sunlight is hitting the paper the wrong way. Through the autumn forest, there are ripples of water, docks empty of boats or wooden planks devoid of footsteps. Old oil tanks beg for paint. More water, still more water. Shades of blue that cannot be replicated, only attempted. One house here and one house there, and another train just passed me by, and it whistles, woo, 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 woo. Nice and loud. More water though, still more water. Through the bush, did I just see a cow? I'm not sure. The autumn trees and the autumn ground signals winter is coming. What secrets do those trees hide? Possibly a death or a love affair gone awry. There is a lake in the middle of the village, a branch with one last leaf, and a sky full of God's beautiful cloudy wonder. Wood is chopped over in the barn, and then more water. I just saw more water. I looked from the window down into the depths of the bottom that does not exist, only red, orange, yellow, brown, and a narrow road do I see. Roots of tree trunks and more history than can be fathomed. And then under a bridge I ride, old homes and new homes all mixed together, singing songs in harmony of sunny weather. A church steeple peaks just as swing low, sweet chariot, coming forward to carry me home. It whispers in my ears. A small town looks like it needs a new start. There are empty stores and empty parking lots, but water, more water. I just saw more water. Thank you.
Thank you.
I never realized that between Philadelphia and I think it's Richmond, Virginia, there are so many bodies of water. I mean, there might be like little lakes and streams and swamps, but then you had these great big what look like oceans that you're crossing over. So that's what made me write that poem, because I didn't know there was that much water between here in Virginia.
And I love the way you took us on that trip in the beginning. That little setup.
Okay, thank you.
Up next we have Janae, and then I've got a little something for y'all. I'm feeling inspired, so I found a little something. But Janae, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I could do one of two things. I have a short little excerpt of like an epic creation thing in process, and I have a whale poem. Which one should I do? Victoria, are you mathing whale poem? All right, we'll do the whale poem. It's called Lost at Sea, Baptismal. We went to the beachfront and you never really saw me again. That evening lingers in my dreams sometimes, the brokenness of the things you believed in. Y'all can hear me right? Cool. So, in my nightmares, as the sun falls, the water fades. A boat glides along the horizon, and when it goes, I'm taken to the whale that shouldn't be beached. It sinks into wet sand where an ocean once lived. I grasp its eyelid like the altar. I pray you see me. I peer through the pupil into its retina. We breathe. Its eyelid moves me as we shut our eyes, and I never heard it sing of what it knew. Now, there's rumors of music bubbling up from the deep in the methane of what's below, dead, decomposing, carrying verses of a fallen friend finally finding rest. I wake in the ocean at the will of the waves and listen for it, wondering if I'll ever call the ocean mine, ours even. Where Mother Water meets us at the door and waves us in, we'd close our eyes and say amen, but you walk away. You leave me there. And though I am neither Sodom nor Gomorrah, you won't look back and risk turning to salt. But the salt was harmless, and with me in the water, I tasted it and waited, wishing for songs of whales. You went back to the water, looking down, watched the waves kiss your toes, where the familiar face which comes and goes claims that you don't know them no more, and no, you know them no more. You know. There are secrets that they now keep deep in the ocean, ugly, and lit dimly beside the mean mugs of anglerfish, sheltered among other horrors of what's unknown and living in the dark. But they're calm, and that scares you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I've got this piece I wrote in response. It was at a workshop, and it hasn't gone through much revision, so bear with me. And it's called From Justice to Peace. No justice. Ooh. am I? Sorry. Okay. No justice, no me. You think anything short of justice gonna quiet them feet, marching and damn near dancing in the street? What they really want is pretty plain to see. They want Danny C's last action as Attorney G to be to charge them racist police for murdering Breonna T. You know, the heroic EMT killed for being black and asleep in her sheets. No justice, no me. It's not just us they want justice. Nah, see, they want equity, empathy, crooked cops out of their communities. Matter of fact, defund the police. But I'll be damned if they want me without you, because if they want me without giving a damn about you, what they really want is me and quiet. But silence can be violent too, see, because if they want me and quiet, what they really want is their normal back. But what's normal for white ain't the same as what's normal for black. Go ahead, ask them. When's the last time they had a target on their back? Man, forget about Target. You ain't getting your paper towels back. We need something to get the blood out these streets. No justice, no me. I'm done with normalized lynchings. I'm done with normalized lynchings on cable TV, because to normalize the horrific makes oppression prolific. But the way they play, you'd think there's nothing more lucrative than cops shooting kids. But oppression can't be simply handled by simply changing the channel, because as long as oppression is present, there ain't gonna be no damn peace. Thank you.
You tell them, Devin.
Thank you, VHP. Is there anybody else who would like to read?
Can I read Dages?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. I think I need to leave this environment. Yeah. Just count to like 20.
While we're waiting, please put your beverage of choice selection in the chat. In the past, we've done flavored seltzers, mini Cokes, etc. Lemonade, iced tea.
I'm back. That was 20.
That goes good with PBJ, huh?
That was a joke, you know. All right. This is called Marked for Death. It's hard. Hard just being there while you're hurting in silence. In my head, I just want to ask deeper things than are you okay? And saying you're going to get through this, How does it feel to lose a heart? I'd ask, feeling your strength and love chipped away. It's hard for me to not think of this happening to you, leaving me like I feel like you do. Try not to miss what is still, even when I sometimes feel you're already going to, until we speak again. I know, all right, we're not so close to gone. It's hard because I worry and you believe that I shouldn't because you'll be all right. But saying it isn't enough. You still look over my shoulder and yours while we talk. Like sometimes eyeing you like a hawk, and I wouldn't want you to be the worm. It hurts. Hurts that as much as I want you to lean on me, you won't, or maybe you don't. Constantly because you're being used to death and it's hitting home, and something is being to know, and something I'm being to know, and the tears are starting to grow. I'm so sorry. I did not. Okay. Yeah. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Bless you guys.
All right. Is anybody else feeling they got something else they want to share?
Rachel, something. Wait, you're muted.
Sorry, I was trying to do the space bar. It wasn't happening. I've got a seltzer list. That's what I've got. I promise you next time.
Okay. All right.
I drew a little picture of Janae because I was like, you just look so precious. You're so cute. Look at him.
Beautiful.
Or they. I'm so sorry. Man, look at them. Look at them. MB Club. It's hard. It's hard. All right. That's all I wanted to share.
I also want to say thank you for everybody who hung out and who shared. I look forward to these every month, every single month. You are all incredible artists.